It's no secret that today's Republican Party is struggling to find out where they really sit on the political spectrum. Well, William Daley, a former chief of staff to President Obama, laid out where the Republican Party went wrong in a recent op-ed in the Washington Post. And Daley says that the moment that John McCain picked Sarah Palin to be his running mate in the 2008 election, it was at that very moment that the Republican Party was destroyed. And it makes perfect sense, too. Daley points out that Sarah Palin had no competence, she had no substance, just all bombast. There was nothing to Sarah Palin except angry, yelling, and pro-corporate talking points and things like that, but there was really nothing behind it at all. On top of that, she had this right combination of ignorance and hate that today defines the entire Republican Party. Sarah Palin ushered in people like Louis Gohmert and Michelle Bachmann. But more importantly, Sarah Palin didn't create all this. She was the end result. For decades, the Republican Party has been mired with corruption and below average presidents. Richard Nixon, Gerald Ford, Ronald Reagan, George H.W. Bush, George W. Bush. Nobody looks back at those men and says, wow, those were intellectual powerhouses. No, corruption and below average intelligence is what we see when we look at the Republican Party. So for decades, they had created this storm, and the end result is Sarah Palin. Unfortunately, Sarah Palin at this point has become the standard bearer. Now everybody has to out-crazy the craziest woman to ever run for vice president, and that's why we end up with people like Donald Trump and Ben Carson. But it's absolutely true. Sarah Palin is responsible for the demise of the Republican Party, so I guess you could actually pin all of this on John McCain and his staff for thinking that this Alaskan governor with hardly any political experience, barely able to string a sentence together, to think that she could be the vice president one heartbeat away from being the president of the United States. So thank you, Sarah Palin and John McCain, for completely destroying the Republican Party.